Yeah, that's amazing. Look at that.
Signal number.
Argument to be made against wearing flip-flops everywhere.
Like,
subscribe,
click the bell, please.
thank you. First time in Taipei. Pretty dead at 4 in the morning, but still a pretty nice airport. So I have a 6-hour layover. It's about 4:30 a.m. ish. Might be a while. So it looks like there are older parts of the airport, and this part of the terminal definitely seems a lot older. Okay, go over this real quick. I'm sure some of you have already figured it out or have been told that Filipina Life and myself are no longer together. And, you know, I kind of saw it coming for a while. She's a sweet girl. She is looking for the big wedding, the traditional family, couple kids. And I am definitely not that guy. I've been honest and upfront with her from the beginning that I didn't really plan on getting married. I didn't really plan on having kids. But I was happy to keep her as long as she was willing to travel. And I think she, over the past couple months, has gotten more and more conservative, whether it's from her family or from herself or whatever. And I understand that. I mean, she wants to have the kids, and a lot of girls feel that biological need, and I think that was her. So we are on our separate ways, and I am very happy for her. She's come a long way. Her channel's doing well. She's making enough money to support herself and her family at this point. So I will never talk bad about her, and she's probably one of the greatest personalities you'll ever see. So I highly encourage you to check her channel out if you haven't. She's definitely one of the good girls that the people talk about, especially from the province. Anyway. Rented this condo on Agoda. It's kind of trashed right now, but it's not bad. Got a little kitchenette. It is definitely not as good as some of the other condos in the area, but it is right near Makati, probably a 5-minute walk to the Greenbelt. It's been raining the past couple days. There's a tropical depression dumping monsoon rains. So everything has been shut down. The traffic is crazy. The taxis take hours. Like literally to get from the airport to here took an hour and a half. Yeah, it just seems crazy. So I'm gonna get out of Manila. Manila kind of irritates me, but overall not too bad. She's got to get her stuff out of here. Okay. So on the 6th floor, they got a pool and a gym, but the rain is still kind of kicking. Still tropical depression and a lot of flooding in Makati. But overall, it's not too bad. It's a nice place. The condo's really small for the price, but yes, there's a ton of flooding. Monsoon rains. Morning. Morning, morning.
It's
Crazy.
Typhoon, no? Typhoon.
Flooding everywhere.
Typhoon Henry.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Look at
It's
that.
signal number... Signal number naman, boy. Signal number na yata ito, boy. Signal number to, eh.
I gotta go in.
Oh, signal number.
All right. Thank you. Woo. All right. It's worse on the other side of the building. All right, so this is what I'm doing for coffee in the morning. Morning. So this is the walk over to McDonald's for coffee and an Egg McMuffin. I'm actually surprised that they're open, but happy because I didn't buy anything yesterday, like I probably should have. Woo. Argument to be made against wearing flip-flops everywhere. The daily commute. I'm just going to get breakfast. Okay, it's been raining again for the past few hours. It stopped this morning, the sun came out, and lightning just hit outside a second ago. So I'll stick a metal rod outside. So I spent about 25-30 minutes in the bus or the taxi line waiting for taxis because it's rush hour and it's bad weather, so there's a ton of people taking taxis. The taxi stand at the condo is pretty slow. There's a lot of people walking. So where do you go when you're consoling yourself in the Philippines? And we're back in the tiny tricycles. So how did I end up here? I was already planning on coming to the Philippines, and kind of when the whole thing between me and Filipina Life went down, I still had the trip planned, so I'm still here, and I do like to travel. So how did I end up here? Angeles City is pretty easy to get to from Manila. I was already planning on coming to the Philippines when my plans changed with the whole thing between Filipina Life and myself. So I still came, and it's definitely a good place to come. I wouldn't recommend coming during the monsoon season, but it's still, for me, I get antsy, I get tired of being in one place. And I'd like the US. I go visit my family, and I try and visit my parents every summer for a few weeks or months. But I'm ready to get out of there and travel again. I've been quite a few places in the Caribbean. I've been all over Jamaica. I've literally driven around the entire island. And also the same thing with Dominican Republic. I rented a car and drove literally to every part of the Dominican Republic. I tried to cross into the Haiti side in a rental car and got turned around. I really wish that I was doing YouTube back then and recorded some of my stuff.
Okay, this is the busy end of Main Street, and I'm here with my friend Chantal. We're walking down to the end.
Ocherias.
Say hi. See, we have a local vendor here. He's trying to sell some stuff. The other shops, whatever.
Let's go today.
Back when I was a little more adventurous in travel. Now I'm a little more, I think, mellow, a little more looking for the beach and relaxation. So I still like to travel, and I like to get out of, you know, the common routine. I don't like to get into a routine for more than a few months. Anyway, that's how I end up traveling. And I ended up coming back here because I chose the Philippines initially when I was getting out of the military because it has great weather during the winter time. It has beaches and islands. Almost everybody speaks English, which was huge, and it's less expensive. So that's the reason I initially started coming here. And once you're here, I really like the Philippines, but I have not been to a lot of the other countries in Asia. Like, I've only been to Thailand once, never been to Bali, never been to Vietnam, any of the other places. So I think I need to go and see a few more of those. And get a little more experience in some of the other countries before I completely decide where I want to settle down. I like that I can get a one-year visa, a one-year tourist visa for the Philippines just by going through Visa HQ, you know, a couple $100, and I have a one-year visa. And then every 2 months you just go and check in. It's relatively easy. It's a little bit of cash, but I still haven't figured out the Thai visa. And I've seen a few videos online, and I know that the Thai visa has changed and the retirement visa and all that. So I'm not really ready to stick 20 grand in a foreign bank account and then go through the BS of reporting that to the US every month. So anyway, I'm not completely familiar with the retirement visa stuff in either Thailand or the Philippines. I've been doing the one-year tourist visa with multiple entries, and it's worked pretty good for me so far. But I definitely want to see a few more countries. So I think I'll end up doing a bit more of that. So the other thing that I kind of forgot about was the Philippines dating sites. Being newly single, of course, in order to get rid of my my sorrow, I jumped on the Filipino dating sites. There's Filipino Cupid was the one that I was used to. Also Dayton Asia, and I know there's a new one, and I can't remember the name. It's like Pinoy or something like that. But I got so many messages on Filipino Cupid that it kind of shut down the other sites. I spent 80% of my time replying to messages and basically, you know, going through, deleting, and looking. And I realized I was spending 80% of my time answering people instead of going to my own searches and searching specifically for what I was looking for. And I think I got into that trap, you know, for a few weeks, a couple weeks before I came over here. And I would recommend, if you're going to do that, stick to your search criteria, what you're looking for, and you have to be kind of, you know, hard and stick to that. Otherwise, like I would spend a couple hours every day just replying to people that I really wasn't interested in and probably wouldn't see, but I didn't want to just not answer to them. And I realized, you know, you can't do it. There's just so many messages on there. I also used International Cupid, and that site is not as you don't get as much return on investment, I guess, if you're coming specifically to certain countries. There are a few people from each country on it, but predominantly it's Filipinas, and a lot of messages from Africa also coming out of that site. So I don't know, your results may vary from mine, but that is what I've noticed over the past couple weeks. I wouldn't even, next time I wouldn't even get on the dating site until you're already in the country, because I was looking at all of the Philippines, and so I had people from all over the country, which it almost made it impossible to go meet the people I wanted to see. I would specifically stick to the cities that you're going to first, and maybe second, and after that, then once you're in the country, then search it. I wouldn't get the site, a couple months ahead of time. It's just you'll lose track of so many girls by the time that you actually get in country. So I don't know. That's my recommendation for myself down the road. I wouldn't tell anybody else what to do. You feel free to knock out whatever you think is good for you. These videos are more, I make these videos not really for the general public, but more for myself, 30 years from now when I'm bedridden and in a a nursing home, I want to go back and look at all the crazy crap that I did. And I wish I'd started this earlier, especially when I was in the military. Some of the insanity that I've gone through and the friends of mine have went through. But I'm happy to start now. And these videos are really more for myself. I'm not going to ask you for money, or not going to ask you to join Patreon. I'm not going to put a Patreon site up. I still have Filipina's life. I still have her links in some of my old videos. And someone mentioned in one of the comments that I was hacking her. Those are all of her her accounts. She has complete control of those accounts. I don't have anything to do with them, but I don't mind giving her a little bit of free marketing because she needs it more than I do. For me, it's more of a documentary. These videos are like references for myself down the road, so I can go back and look at what I was doing when I was traveling. And I am a little sad that a bunch of my videos are on her account, because if she deletes them, I'd be a little disappointed. So I may have to go download those and just keep them and archive them for myself. But anyway, that's kind of like a channel update on what's going on with me and what you can expect going forward. So again, I will monetize these videos, and I do get a little bit of money from them, but it's just from advertising. So if you want, feel free to watch the advertisements. If not, I totally understand. Anyway, with that said, there are a few places in the Philippines I still want to go. And even before this spring, while we were planning together, I was planning on going to Surigao, the surfing island out there on the northeast side of Mindanao. Also, there's a couple other places. I haven't been to Tacloban. Where was the other place? I'll put it in the link. I can't remember the name. There's a few other places that I definitely want to see. I definitely like going back to Puerto Galera. I like Puerto Galera better than Angeles City, just because there is a beach. Even if it's a dirty beach, I like the scenery. Angeles City is nice. I like to come to Angeles City because basically it's not expensive. To rent a place or a condo, you can kind of go with a lower budget here, especially during high season. Some of the other places get really expensive. So budget-wise, it makes sense for me. But I can't say that I would be able to stay in Angeles City long term. Even Subic, I probably need to go back and look at Subic again. We only stayed in one little spot, and I didn't get to see a lot of it.